Hello and welcome to the History Help channel. Today we will be looking into chapter 2 of class 6th grade. So in this we'll be covering what is early man. These videos are going to be helpful for CBSE students studying in class 6 and also in NTS students preparing for NTSE. So here we will look into early man. So, who is an early man? Early man is the person who has are the people who lived who are the first people who actually came into our ancestors basically, who used to hunt, who used to live in caves, who used to go from one place to another. So that those people are known as the early man period. Okay, early man. So early man is actually prehistory. So last video we learned what is prehistory. Prehistory is that time period when there were no written records. So early man actually falls under prehistory. So when did early man live? So he lived some 2 million years ago. 1 million is 6 zeros. So 2 million if you have to write, it will be 2 million years ago he lived. So Earth came still earlier to that. When did it come? Some 4.5 billion years ago Earth came. But man came some 2 million years ago. Okay. See the difference. So man came very late to dominate on this earth. So so in prehistory, when there were no written records, the first type of people or culture that came into was known as the Stone Age. Why Stone Age? Because our ancestors did not have whatever tools they used. They only made it of stone. There was no iron. There was no copper. They did not know the gold, silver, anything of that sort. So in a very early man only knew about stone. So he only made, with the help of stone only he made tools. Okay. So the first period, so the early man's period is also known as Stone Age. I'll write it here. And in Stone Age period, as majorly he used stone tools only. So based on that, the Stone Age is divided into Palaeolithic, Mesolithic and Neolithic. Palaeolithic means Old Stone Age, Mesolithic means Middle Stone Age and Neolithic means New Stone Age. Okay. So why these three differences? Why have we divided Stone Age into Old, Middle and New? That is because of the tools. When in the Paleolithic period, which is the first period in the Stone Age, people made very rough tools, crude tools. They didn't sharpen it or polish it and all. So it was very basic tools. That's why all those tools and the way the people lived at that time, they may classified it into a different category known as Paleolithic age. After some time, people started polishing the tools. They made sharper tools. They became a little. They progressed a little further. So that time the category was changed to Mesolithic. He went into the middle Stone Age period. Earlier he was in the Old Stone Age period. Finally, man started making his tools more sharper, smaller and very finished. He spent a lot of time sharpening his tools and all. And he also learned to do food growing and learn to live in a society and all that. So all that is in the New Stone Age or the Neolithic time period. So today in the chapter 2, we'll only be looking into Paleolithic and Mesolithic period. Third chapter we'll be looking in, next chapter we'll be looking into Neolithic. Okay. So let us see in Paleolithic age what and all happened. Okay. So in first we will look into the Paleolithic age. So paleo means old, lithic means stone. So in Old Stone Age, how did people live? So early man used to hunt. He used to go from one place to another. He used to be a nomad. What is a nomad? Wandering from one place to another. Why he used to roam from one place to another? Because he did not know how to grow crops. So obviously he wanted food. So he used to do hunting, or he used to go in search of fruits, nuts, seeds, or he used to go in search of meat. So he used to go hunt animals. Or he used to go in search of water. So he was always roaming. So he was a nomad. So early man in Paleolithic age was hunting, and he was a nomad, and he was a food gatherer. He didn't know how to grow crops or live in one particular settled life. He didn't have. So this was how early man lived. What about his tools? He knew how to do tools, but they were all very crude. Okay. So again, based on the tools, again the Paleolithic period is defined into lower Paleolithic, middle Paleolithic, and upper Paleolithic. So in the lower Paleolithic age, he made hand axes. Okay, axe. So he made that. He started doing hand axes. So why did he use an axe? To chop wood for getting firewood, or to chop wood for many. This one he used hand axes. Then in the middle Paleolithic age, he made tools like scraper. What are scrappers? They are tools for shedding skin or shedding bark. He may have felt the need for making clothes or to cover something. So he used scrapers for removing the skin from the animal, getting to the meat. Or he may have used the scraper to remove the fruit outer peel or the bark or anything. So he developed scraper. And in the upper Paleolithic age, he started making blades. So slowly there also he was improving in the Paleolithic age. So Paleolithic age, all his tools were still very crude, but still man was progressing from lower Paleolithic, middle Paleolithic, and to upper Paleolithic. So he was making tools, different types of tools. So basically, again, Paleolithic people were always living in groups, because groups meant security, groups meant safety. So they used to live together, and they used to live in near rivers, because if you live in rivers, one, they'll get water. Secondly, they were able to get tools to make stone. They were able to make stone tools very easily, because plenty of raw materials are found in near rivers. So sometimes entire tools would be done near the rivers only. So rivers were generally the places where the Paleolithic men lived. So in India, we have Paleolithic settlements near Punjab, where Son River flows. Then there is near Uttar Pradesh, where the river, and Madhya Pradesh, where river Narmada flows, and all that. So, apart from that, Paleolithic men also knew fire, and he realized that fire can be used to cook food. And sometimes he though he didn't know to write, he knew to draw. So he also knew how to draw. So many places in in Madhya Pradesh, there is a place called Bhimbetaka, where there are some cave paintings which have been found. This is in Madhya Pradesh. Okay, so so he knew fire, he knew artwork, he also knew how to make tools. They were all crude. He used to be a nomad. He could do food gathering, and he used to hunt. Okay, and Paleolithic age is divided into lower, middle, and upper. So let us take a look into the tools of his. Okay, take a look at this slide. So you had a look at the tools of Paleolithic. Some more things that I would like to tell is, in Paleolithic age, the climate was quite cold. Okay, and you might have seen the picture of Ice Age. You would have seen the movie Ice Age. Similarly, it was cold all over. So the climate is very cold. So it's also known as Ice Age. Also, uh, from 2 million years to 12,000 years is the is the Paleolithic age. So many years the early man was in Paleolithic age. So from 2 million years to 12,000 years, man slowly was hunting, was gathering food, started making tools. First he made the hand axes, then he made scrappers, then he made this blades, and all these type he slowly started developing into and becoming more and more proficient. He understood the use of fire, he started painting. So many of these, he started making clothes, and he started cutting wood, he started chopping wood. He also made arrows and spears and all this for hunting. So he was basically a hunter from nearly for so much long period. And the climate also was very cold, so he was still trying to find out how to live and how to eat, how to sleep, how to safeguard himself from animals. All this was unknown to him, so he was always on the move, you can say. Next, we will come to Mesolithic age. Mesolithic age lasted from 12,000 years to 10,000 years. Okay. So here too, the early man was a nomad only. He was wandering here and there. He was also a food gatherer only. But his tools became much more smaller and sharper. Okay. So his tools were very small ones. They could be attached to a handle and could be used like sickles. You may have seen a sickle. So let me show a picture of microlith. So this is a microlith. So small tools he could make, but they were sharper. Okay. So these type of tools he did, and he was still a hunter, but he started under the climate slowly started becoming warmer. Okay, so when the climate became warmer, there were a lot of grass started growing. So there were animals like deer, sheep, goat. They would eat the grass, and he started understanding about animals. He started observing them because there were plenty of grasslands now. So he was slowly moving towards domestication of animals. He understood them. Then there were crops like wheat and barley. So crops like wheat, barley, and all were growing. So he started observing. He started understanding about animals. He started understanding about crops. So though he was still not growing, he was slowly becoming more and more in touch with his surroundings. Okay, and he was moving towards domestication and learning, even fishing and collecting food and storing food and all that. So he was slowly moving towards agriculture. That will come only in the Neolithic period. So this was all Middle Age, Middle Stone Age. So in Mesolithic, though he learned to use tools, many places like Jharkhand and near river Ganga, the micro Mesolithic people used to settlements were there. Mesolithic people, whatever tools they made, they're also known as microliths. Why micro? Micro means small. So they used to make small tools. So these tools were also known as microliths. So the age was Mesolithic, tools were microliths. So remember this. Mesolithic means middle age. Microliths means small sharp tools. Okay. So this is how Stone Age proceeded. So one important thing to notice in South India, there in Karnataka especially, there are two places where some 15,000 tools have been found. That is in Karnataka only, and the names associated with that is Hunsgi, and there are other places like Hunsgi Valley, and then there is one more place called um, Brahmagiri and all those places. So, in these two, Karnataka itself, there were some 15,000 tools which are found in these places. So, these two places are very important, Hunsagi and Baichabal valleys. Okay. This is an important. So not only in India, when early man was there, even in India, even abroad. So what was happening in other places too, like Spain and France, early man was there, and cave paintings in those places have shown animals like rhinoceros, horses, and all. Though horses was not present in our country, but in places in Europe there were horses. So you can also see diagrams of horse animals like horses and all. And basically, early man used to use charcoal and and colors like ochre to color the paintings. So this is what we study in the chapter 2. One person who gets introduced in chapter 2 is Plato. First chapter you learned about Herodotus, who was the father of history. Second person who was another historian was Plato. He was also a great, he was a student of a Greek philosopher Socrates, and he also did a lot of, he has written about the history, and he was also not only a historian, he was also a proficient in maths. So that's about it. Next chapter we will be looking into Neolithic age. Thank you.